Alright, ladies and gents, the minute that I see any article about Sony, I was ready to do it. Finally, they broke free of their silence, and yeah, we're gonna see what's up. So, yeah, let's get right into it with the first article. Well, Sony announces first details on PlayStation 5. Okay, I don't need all that. Sony today announced the first details of the next generation PlayStation system, the PS5. The new details were announced in an exclusive article from Wired magazine. The console isn't expected in 2019. Here's the highlights of the new features of the next generation PlayStation presumably called PlayStation 5. Backwards compatible with PS4 games. I wonder where they got that idea from. Still using physical media. 8-core 8 AMD processor. Radeon Navi GPU, quote-unquote, supports up to 8K resolution. SSD and more storage. Quote-unquote, Spider-Man load times from 15 seconds to 0.8. And ray tracing. Oops, sorry about that. PlayStation's next generation's console tickets all those boxes, starting with the AMD chip at the heart of the device. Quote-unquote warning, some alphabet soups follows. The CPU is based on the third generation of AMD's Ryzen line and contains 8 cores of the new company's 7nm and Zen 2 microarchitecture. I don't know if I butchered that. The GPU, a custom variant of Radeon's Navi family, will support ray tracing, a technique that models the travel of light to stimulate complex interactions in 3D environments. Ray tracing is a brand new feature for the PS5, which allows better loading and scripting for environments for the platform. Quote unquote, if you wanted to run tests to see if the player can hear certain audio sources or if the enemies can hear the player's footsteps, ray tracing is useful for that. He says it's all the same thing as taking a ray through the environment. New CPU, new GPU, the ability to deliver unprecise visual audio effects in game, quote unquote, and maybe a PSVR sequel at some point. That's great, but there's something else that excites Henry more, something that he calls, quote unquote, a true game changer. Something that more than anything else, quote unquote, the key of the next generation, it's a hard drive. Sony is now hosting an E3 conference this year, so the company appears to be announcing first details next generation platforms ahead of Microsoft's expected news at E3 in 2 months. Full details on what's coming on the Wire article here. So right now they're just, Sony does very, very well, even though it's next generation. Of course, you gotta make the game look even better. All the games look better than they were before. But yeah, all that stuff about, I don't know anything about processors and physical media, but I kind of do got a grasp on it, what it's trying to say, because how the graphics were on PlayStation 4. So I'm assuming this is just to make with the audios and everything sound really good and nice and clean, and loading times and everything on that platform to be rendering immediately, or if you can see it off the distance, it's already rendered. It doesn't need to take a second to. So I'm assuming that's what it is. And they're finally doing the backwards compatible with the PS4 games. They could do it with the PS3, but not gonna happen. I kind of feel bad for those PS3 players that wants to play PS3 games. Well, you can all play your PS4 games, so they at least did backwards compatible. Well, they're doing it this time. So let's take a look at the second article. Okay. This one is called. Okay, well, I gotta scroll up now. Exclusive. What to expect from Sony's next generation? Okay, Mark Jenny would like to get one thing out of the way right now. The video game console that Sony has spent for the past 4 years building is no merge upgrade. You have a good reason for thinking otherwise. Sony and Microsoft both extended the current console generation via a mid-cycle refresh with Xbox One and PlayStation 4, spawning mini sequels, quote-unquote Xbox One X and PS4 Pro. The key question, Sony, I don't even know how to pronounce this dude's last name, so apologies if I butcher it. Sony says is whether the console adds another layer of the sorts of experience you already have access to, or if it allows for fundamental changes in the game, in what a game can be. The answer in this case is the latter. It's why we're sitting here, secretive away in a conference room at Sony's headquarters in Foster City, California, where Sony is finally dealing with the inner workings at the as yet unnamed console will be replaced. Will replace the PS4, obvious. And history is any guide, it will eventually be double the PlayStation 5 for now. Sony responds to that question and many others will legitimate. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. Jeez, I can't read right now. Smile, the quote-unquote next-gen console, as he refers to it repeatedly, won't be landing in stores anytime in 2019. A number of studios have been working with it, though, and Sony recently accelerated its deployment of Diva kits so that game creators will have the time they need to adjust to its capabilities. As he did with the PS4, Sony acted as lead system can't even pronounce that one. For the coming system, integrating developers' wishes in this own gaming hopes into something that's much more revolution than evolution. For the more than 90 million people who own PS4s, that's good news indeed. Sony's got a brand new box. I mean, people buy PS4s. They have their own reasons. The PS4 has some features that are just for people who want those features on the PS4. But that's whatever. A true generation shift trends to include a few foundational adjustments. A console's CPU and GPU becomes more powerful, able to deliver previously unattainable graphic definitely a visual effects system. Memory increase in size and speed, and game files grow to match necessarily large downloads or higher capability physical media like disk. PlayStation's next generation's console tickets all those boxes, starting with the AMD chip at the heart of the device. What about wording? Some of the alphabet soups, okay. The CPU is based on the third generation of AMD's Ryzen line and contains 8 cores of the company's new 7. Okay. Technique Radiance family will support ray tracing, a technique that models travel to life, simulate environments, ray tracing, and stable visual effects, beginning to worm into high-end processors. And Nvidia recently announced the RTX line. No game consoles has been managed it yet. Ray tracing mainly benefits of visual or largely visual because it mimics the ways that light bounces from the object to object in a scene. Reflective surfaces and refractions through glass or liquid can be rendered much more accurately in a real time, leading to highlighted realism. According to Siri, the applications go beyond graphics implementation. If you wanted to run tests to see if the players can hear certain audio sources of enemies. Okay, yeah, I already read that. And then here we go, something different. And the AMD chip also includes a custom unit for 3D audio that Cerny will redefine that what sound can do in video games. As a gamer, he says it's been a little bit of a frustration that audio did not change too much between PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. With the next console, the dream is to show how dramatically different the audio experience can be when we apply significant amounts of the hardware horsepower to it. The results, Cerny says, will make you feel more immersed in the game as sounds come at you from above, from behind, and from the side. Will require no external hard drive. It will work through the TV speakers and virtual surrounded sound. He allows that the gold standard will be headphone audio. One of the words Sony used to describe the audio may be familiar to those who virtual reality precise that feeling of existing inside of the simulated environment. When he mentions it, I asked him about the PlayStation VR and the purple. I can't pronounce that. Sorry, guys. System that he has sold more than 4 million units since its 2016 release. Specifically, I asked if there would be a next-gen PSVR to go alongside the next console. I won't go into details of our VR strategy today, he says, beyond saying the VR is very important to us, that the current PSVR headset is compatible with the new console. So, new CPU and a new GPU availability. Yeah, I read some of that part. Then larger a game gets, the last Red Dead Redemption 2 clocks in. The horse choking 99 gigabytes for the PS4, and the longer it takes to do just about everything. Loading screens can last minutes while the game pulls when it needs from the hard drive. Same goes for fast travel when characters transport between far-flung points within the game world. Even opening a door can take over a minute, depending on what's on the other side and how much more data the game needs to load. Starting from the fall of 2015, when Cerny first began to talk to developers about what they want for the next generation, he heard it was time again. I know it's impossible, but we can have a SSD. Solid-state drives have been available in the budget laptops for more than a decade, and the Xbox One and PS4 both offered external SSDs that claim to improve load times, but not all SSDs are created alike. As Cerny points out, I have SSDs in my laptop, and when I want to change from an exact door, I can wait 15 seconds. What's built into Sony's next-gen console is something like a little more specialized. To demolish, Cerny fires up a PS4 Pro playing Spider-Man, a 2018 PlayStation exclusive that he worked on alongside Insomniac, quote unquote. He's just not in systems erratic. Cerny created arcade classics Marble Madness when he was all of 19, and he was heavily involved with PlayStation PS2 franchises like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, and Ratchet and Clank. On the TV, Spidey stands a small plaza. Certainly presses a button on the controller. Immediately, a fast travel internal screen when Spidey reappears to a totally different spot in Manhattan. 15 seconds have elapsed, and certainly does the same thing on the next gen dev kit connected to a different TV. The dev kit on the quote unquote the low speed version is concealed in a big silver with no visual. What took 15 seconds now takes less than 0.8 seconds to exact. That's just one consequence of a SSD. There's also the speed at which the world can render, thus the speed with which a character can move through the world. Cerny runs a similar to console demonstration, this time with the camera moving up on the Midtown avenues of the original PS4 cameras. Moves about the speed Spidey hits when his web swings. No matter how much power you get as Spider-Man, you can never go any faster than the Cerny says, because Simply, how fast can we get the data off the hard drive and on the next gen console? The camera speeds uptown like it's mounted on the fighter jet. Periodically, certainly pauses the action to prove that surrounding environment remains perfectly crisp, while the quote unquote while the next gen console will support 8K graphics. TVs will deliver it are fewer and far between, so we're using a 4K TV. What else developers will be able to do as a question certainly can't answer yet, because those developers are still yet figuring it out, but he sees the SSD as unlocking the entry new age, one that upends the very troops that will become the bedrock of gaming. We're very used to flying logos on the start of the game and the graphics heavy selections of the screens, he says. Even the things like multiplayer lobbies and intentionally details loadout processes because you don't want players just to be waiting. At the moment, Sony won't cope to exact details about the SSD, who makes it, whether it's utilize the new PCIe 4.0 standard, but certainly claims that it has a raw bandwidth higher than any SSD available for PCs. That's not all. The raw read speed is important, certainly says, but so are the details of the input output mechanics and the software stacks that we put on top of them. I got a PS4 Pro, and then I put in a SSD that costs as much as the PlayStation Pro. It might be 1/3 faster as opposed to 19 faster than for the next gen console, judging from the fast travel demo. As you notice, this is all the hardware talk. Certainly isn't ready to chat about services or other features, let alone game prices, or neither is anyone at Sony, nor you will hear much about the console at E3 in June for the first time. Sony won't be holding a keynote at the annual game shows, but a few more things coming out during the next course of the conversation. For example, the next gen console will accept physical media, and it won't be able to download machines because it's based on the parts of the PS4's architecture. It would be backwards compatible games for the consoles as many of the generations transition. This will be a gentle one with numerous new games being released for both PS4 and the next gen console. And yeah, and it goes on quoting saying what exactly titles like Death Stranding and all that. And yeah, what gaming will look like in a year or two will be let alone 10 is a matter of the debate. Battle royale games have reshaped multiplayer experiences, basically. And argument reality marries the fantastical and real and unpredictable ways. Google is leading charge of white traditions consoles by launching a cloud gaming service. Later this year, Microsoft's next version of Xbox will presumably integrate cloud gaming as well to allow people to play Xbox games on multiple services. Damn. Sony's plans in this regards are still unclear. Obvious. It's one of the many things Sony is keep mum on, saying that we are cloud gaming pioneers and our vision should become clear as we head towards launch, but it's hard to think there won't be more news coming on the front. For now, there's the living room. It's where the PlayStation has sat through the 4 generations, and it will continue to sit at least 1 generation more. Jeez, this is a long video. So yeah, I'll leave the link down below, both of these articles, the first 2 articles that I read down below if you guys want to go check that out and read what I just read. If you want to read something more specific that you want, go ahead and check it out. But yeah, for my take on this, I don't think Sony doesn't have that much of a plan besides finally doing something what Microsoft's doing best is have backwards compatibility. Oops. It kind of sucks that it has to be a PS4, not like PlayStation 3 games. At least that could have been a little bit good for all those PS3 players out there that want to play their PS3 games. Like, there's been good titles for the PS3, but like it's good to play some old games and then the new current games. I kind of like the mix in between, and I feel like people like like the mix in between that as well. But hey, that's just my personal preference. I don't speak out against. I don't speak with everybody. It's either you rather just play on your system or you want to play on the next gen or whatever. Noise again. But yeah, I don't think Sony doesn't have that much of a plan to like ease up the competition. Besides, I already know they might do another exclusive on some game titles and do more with the whole graphics on all video games to get it more the realism type of feel. I feel like they're just gonna keep going with that because presumably that's what Sony. That's what like one thing people keep telling me what's so good about PlayStation. Oh yeah, the graphics look so real, they render faster. Yeah, I really don't care about that because it's next generation. So what? If one console doesn't have the other, good for you. Like that doesn't bother me at all. But it's all whatever. To me, I don't feel like that's much more important. But hey, it's a big deal for people that care about that. So it's just whatever. I still think Microsoft is gonna take the hand this year of next gen consoles. But hey, that's just my opinion. We're gonna see until it comes out in June. Or yeah, maybe no, they're gonna announce it maybe later this year in 2019. But let me know what you guys' thoughts and opinions. What I read about, and what do you think about PS5? Do you think it's good, bad? If it's gonna be better than Microsoft's new Xbox? Doubt that. My opinion, by the way. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that down below. And again, go check out the articles that I read in the description if you guys want to go read out something specific that you want to read. Anyways, guys, my name is Senegos239 or Jordan. Thank you guys so much for watching and all the support. Appreciate that. Love you guys. See you guys in the next one. Peace.